Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to introduce each one of you to our guest of honor. Our guest of honor is a trailblazer in driving investment and fostering industry growth in India. Please welcome with a huge round of applause Dr. Suruchi Mittar, Senior Vice President and Chief Industry Officer at Invest India. Dr. Mittar's expertise spans policy, advocacy, industry partnerships, and investment promotion. Through her work, she has been instrumental in shaping strategies that boost India's competitiveness on the global stage. Her efforts have opened new avenues for innovation and business expansion in multiple sectors. Let's hear from Dr. Suruchi Mittar, and we would also like to felicitate ma'am first. Please welcome ma'am once again with a huge round of applause. Yes, ma'am. To felicitate ma'am, please help me welcoming our dignitaries from RAI, Mr. Biju Kurian, Chairman RAI, Mr. Kumar Rajagopalan, CEO RAI, Mr. Gautam Jain, Director RAI, and Ms. Palak Sapra from RAI. Let us now hear from Dr. Mittar.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Rai, for inviting Invest India to this forum. I'm very, very pleased and honored and very thankful to Rai for giving us this opportunity as Invest India to be here amongst the industry players, my fellow colleagues, and also not just understanding the paraphernalia of how retail and e-commerce is moving ahead from the perspective of the retailers who are sitting here and who are the giants of the retail industry, but also understanding the ground realities of what is happening in the investment perspective and how the businesses can grow. What is it that we can do from Invest India to strengthen this business? And that is why we are all here, my team and myself, we are here from Invest India to be with the retailers of the country to facilitate, to help, and to strengthen and complement the complete relationships. Before I start, I would just like to say the day has just begun with a lot of understanding of how the retail is moving ahead. But I would like to add some numbers here from the government data and the statistics that we have in, at our end. I would just like to tell you that there is nothing to be scared of because Indian retail market size is expected to reach by $2 trillion in 2030. And from around $830 billion in 2023, we are growing at approximately 10% CAGR. And definitely we say that the retail sector in India accounts for every 10% of country's GDP and around 8% of the workforce, which is 35 plus million people who are working in this sector. It is expected to create 25 million new jobs by 2030. The e-commerce market size, when we say it was around 70 billion in 2022, and it is expected to reach USD $325 billion by 2030. This is the data which is actually not based on perception, but it is a data which is based on the kind of growth that we are looking into the market. I would like to tell you, with all these numbers, a few stories that we actually integrate with and we understand how the data is moving. When I say e-commerce growth, I also feel very nice when we work with Ministry of Handloom and Handicrafts and we see the craftsmen or the artisans who are selling their products onto a WhatsApp, on an e-commerce platform, onto social media, and they say we can do that easily. We know how to do it, we know how to move forward, and they are becoming like a retailers wherein we have good stories of D2C market, which is definitely growing. The demographic advantage that everybody has talked about, we are actually an average age of 27.6 years, and 36% live in urban setting, which definitely is going to rise by 40% in 2030. The income distributions that we have talked about, we see 18 million households in India with income of more than USD 125,000 and up from 4 million, which is 2021. Income growth, our income growth in terms of average households income has risen from INR 5.24 lakhs to per annum of 7.32 lakhs. The growing consumption, which we've talked about, it is an increase of 1.2x in the proportion of affluent and elite customers. The continuing urbanization, which is 39%, shifting family structures to nuclear families, which means growing household needs, is 75% households to be nuclear by 2027. The young population with an attitudinal shift wherein we talk about premiumization, the taste and preferences which are changing, is about 80% of the population by 2027. The internet users, India has a population of more than 950 million internet subscribers. Digital payments, we've gone from USD 300 billion to 3.6 trillion in 2024. And personalization, which I think a lot of us have talked about, that across all the retail stores, the traffic enhancement is because of personalization that this sector is providing. So I think there is no need of fear to set in or the space of insecurity to set in, but I think we see a lot of growth. But what is it that we need to look into? Of course, the growth drivers are changing from premiumization, our taste and preferences. I would just like to tell you that we were, talking to one of the leading footwear manufacturers, and we said that gone are the days when people used to say, you are going to America, please get me an iPhone, because we get iPhone here now. But what people are talking about, get me a Jordan. So, the taste, the spending power, the understanding, the experience is definitely shifting, and the consumer base is shifting, and we see it all across. The kind of investment understandings, the kind of investment opportunities that we see are also changing. We were doing a roadshow in Korea, and we saw that the food market, categorically the food outlets, the food retailers, they actually talked about shifting their complete bases from Korea to India because our consumption has increased or our taste and preferences have changed from experiencing new types of foods, understanding what we are. So I would like to say gone are the days when Maggi had to launch themselves into a virgin market and they could not spend more onto their marketing budgets, but they could spend onto their production because they had to give it free to the consumer to develop the taste. And now we are at a stage where the taste and preferences are already developed and people are looking for different kind of food, which is like acceptance. So I just want to say at Invest India, we are strengthening these investments. We are bringing in people from various countries who are not just looking for JVs, partnerships. We would like to also say that the domestic partners, we are there for you in terms of your growth plan, in terms of holding each other's hands, complementing the strengths. We want to say that PPP or public is not for us an IPO. But PPP for us is wherein public-private partnership with respect to taking your brands to tier 2, tier 3 cities. Government is taking a lot of initiatives into that also. You want to grow, you want to strengthen yourself, you want to look out for land parcels, you want to look out for options wherein the shops can be built, the malls which are coming in, the government is taking all those initiatives for your investments, giving subsidized rates, incentives to actually help the domestic players and strengthen the retail sector. We are happy with the sector that is growing. We don't want international market not just to take only the share which our domestic players are having, but we want a complementing scenario wherein we work in a word called co-opetition. So we want to exist in a competition wherein we cooperate. So that's the kind of objective that government has. I would also like to tell you at Invest India, what we do, I would just like to give you a small little brief so that we all are on the same page. We do a lot of business roadshows in various countries. We understand the needs of various brands, various organizations in various countries, and when we get those understandings, we bring them here with respect to not just opening their retail outlets, but government has strictly put an understanding to to international retailers that if you come and bring your retail business, 30% of sourcing, you have to get it from India, which means that we are boosting the Indian economic paraphernalia also. So whenever we get those understandings from the retailers, we get those retailers to the country, we help those retailers set up, we help those retailers go back to our supply chain, we get them do their JVs, we make them introduce to the suppliers. As a sector lead, as a sector senior vice president, I would just like to tell you, we help these sectors grow in their supply chains, in their ecosystems, in their value chains, understanding the problems also, and then integrating those problems, putting them into a more knowledgeable format, and putting a policy framework to the Government of India, which is DPIIT, which is our parent body. And that is how we work very, very closely with the central body. We also help our domestic players and international players to if they wish to set up into states. If you want to expand your business from one state to another state, we help you and we handhold you and we take you to various states and we help develop your ecosystem in those states also. We also help in capacity buildings. We also help in defining your value eco-chain system. We also bring the artisans, handicrafts, handlooms to the country on a very different platform and try to integrate the whole ecosystem for each one of you sitting here. So I'll be very happy. I'll be leaving now shortly because I have some commitment. But my team, I would request my team to just get up from their chairs. My team is here. We are here for all the kind of network that you would like to have with us. Our details and our, cards, business cards are with my team, so we will be happy if you want to get in touch with us. We'll be definitely facilitating your needs and your requirements. But I really want to tell you, the retail business has nothing to be feared of, nothing to be scared of. The consumption patterns, the consumer awareness, taste and preferences, premiumization, spending power, understanding, experiences, everything is growing. And I think it's a good time, like how our Honorable Prime Minister says, it is the time and it is the right time. So I think it is the right time for all the retailers. Thank you so much.